Despite what their moms told them, they just aren't talented enough for radio. Unfortunately, anyone can have a show these days. Sean.
Well, I'm pretty hard to figure out sometimes. In fact, I can't even figure myself out sometimes, so don't you try to.
Joe.
You're an idiot and really a disloyal person.
This is the Cuse Militia. Now, those two unapologetically biased orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
It's the most bullshit thing I've seen in 30 years.
Welcome, orange men and ladies. Happy Tuesday. This is the Cuse Militia with Sean and Joe at Cuse Militia on the socials. Go there, join the militia. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out with us. We appreciate all of you. I hope everybody had a fantastic 4th of July weekend. It was a long weekend for me. Joe, I assume it was a long weekend for you.
Yes, sir.
Long weekend includes an extra day. For those of you who don't get those, sorry. But it was great for me. Joe, you had a good time? Joe had a party?
Had a great time. Had a party. Good time.
Good.
Not as good a time as when you came down, but, you know.
Yes, that was fun. Joe, this is already 2 weeks ago. Well, going on 2 weeks. Look, I don't remember the last time I was up past 2 a.m, but it was probably with you. 3 a.m. is the most recent record in probably, I mean, it's got to be close to, it's got to be 10 years at least. So, thanks.
No, you need one of those every once in a while. You know?
Every time I turned around, Joe had a warm beer. Hey, man, it's been sitting on the picnic table in front of the campfire for a half an hour. You want it? Sure. So I just drank them till they were gone, so he'd stop handing them to me. So that's what we did. We drank beer until there wasn't any. And, I mean, it was fun.
It was fun.
You reach a certain point with me where it's the beer's just not doing anything anymore, and I'm just tired, Joe. Okay? All right. So, and by the way, this motherfucker cooked a hot dog for 25 minutes. I don't know how you cook a hot dog for 25 minutes. The slow cooked hot dog. It is a national treasure, and that was just lunch. So, anyways,
Lord,
Lord, look. Tell me about it. Everybody, all the kids are starving. Joe's slow cooking hot dogs out there. What the hell is that all about?
It was a hot dog, and somebody likes them very well done, but not burnt. Okay, so that's how I do it. That's it. That's all I got.
I got nothing.
That's all I got.
It's okay. Okay. I mean, okay. All right. I could keep going. I'm going to stop there. But, I mean, boil it. I don't know. I don't know. All right. Boeheim's Army is going to be in Syracuse the 22nd through the 25th, all the way until we reach the quarterfinals, which is, 8 teams. And so 3 games in 4 days, and we're going to give you a preview of the Boeheim's Army team, the team that they're facing, rather, not the Boeheim's Army team. We kind of already did that, but the team that they are facing, and that is India Rising. And as soon as we learn all the names, which is probably going to take 2 weeks, then we'll be back to give you a preview.
Yeah, not today.
Not today. Not prepared for it. Look, we're just winging it, and I've got no reads. I guess we're just that undesirable now, Joe, which is fine. I'm fine with that.
I'm cool with it.
Because everybody knows how painful that can be sometimes too. Almost as painful as slow cooking a hot dog for half an hour, but not quite.
Look. We're gonna give you guys a preview, and it's gonna be obviously that's the game that we're playing, the team we're playing against, India Rising, but also a little bit of a preview of, the region, because if we win on Friday, then we play on Saturday. If we win on Saturday, we play on Monday. So, I mean, I don't know if you want to have a quick surprise if they get the first 2 games on a Sunday to going into that last round for the region. But there's a possibility that we might not be able to do anything in between the first 3 games. So we're going to do the preview, hopeful that we are going to get through the quarter, or our region, and get to the quarterfinal.
Yeah. So the full bracket's out, and you can go check it out at thetournament.com. And there's two different ways to look at it. Then you'll be able to navigate that. One is set up by ESPN, and you can click on all the teams and see what all they're about and see their players. And the other one is just almost like a printable version. Okay, I guess would be what it is, and it's in the overview. The other one's in the tournament. Take a look at the bracket, and then Noons has, I believe, a bracket challenge, and
the TBT does,
and the TBT does too. Yeah. Oh, okay. Did they just link to that? Is that what that is?
Yeah. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
You can get private little links and stuff like that. So. If you go to the TBT, they have TBT 2022 bracket challenge, then you can fill out the bracket, and I think they pay out the top 1,000 best brackets. First place is $4,000, and it's free to enter. So why not, right? And then on top of that, I think from there's different other places that can link up and have their own private stuff and do their own stuff. So if you Google Noons Magician TBT tournament or bracket challenge, then it'll bring you to an article where they have a pin for their specific Noons Magician bracket challenge. And I don't know exactly what their prizes are, but that's another thing that you can enter for free, and I'm sure there's some type of prize involved. So I know they're trying to get as many entries as possible.
Yeah, so look into that. I think I'll do one for fun, for the hell of it. And
look, it's something to do. You're in the middle of the summer. If you're not a baseball guy or a NASCAR guy, then you don't really have any sports, And I mean, I'm MMA, but it's only on Saturdays. So this is something in the middle of the summer that just kind of gets the dullness of sports kind of out of there for a little while. And why not fill out a bracket and gives you a reason to watch all the games.
It does, and it's fun, but it is difficult because it's not like you know who these teams are, right? So, NG Saints, by the way, that's the one that's Rick Jackson and Scoop Jardine are playing for again.
Newman Goretti.
Right?
Mr. Heiss. Yep,
yeah.
Newman Goretti.
Right.
That's what the NG stands for.
It's in Philly, right? Or whatever?
Yep, in Philly. That was their high school that they went to. So, obviously, they're playing for them.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I forgive them for that. I don't hold that against them. Of course, I would love to see them, but it is what it is.
No, they're a 7 seed.
And
so they'd have to win 2 games to get there. So
also, right, they're in our bracket, which is cool. So they'll be in Syracuse.
Yeah, they're in our region. They'll be in Syracuse.
I'm
sure they'll get some fans. That'll be cool.
Yeah, Friday Beers.
That might be a game I watch.
Friday Beers is a cool name. It's formerly Armored Athlete. We remember they were good for a little while. They think they took us out one year, did they not? Thought they did, maybe not.
Yeah.
Anyways, go through, take a look. That's the only thing that's kind of sucks about it, to be honest, is that you kind of got to look at the teams too. You almost have to do a little bit more homework, or you could just wing it, pick them by color. That's what my wife does. So, what else on the Boeheim's Army front? So we'll be back. We probably won't be here next week, but the following week we'll be back right before the game to talk some Boeheim's Army India Rising, and we'll do a little projection. I think it's going to be the best way to do it is do a little projection. And
throughout the region, right?
Yeah, kind of just give you a brief overview of what the possibilities are.
Yeah.
And, not full previews, but possibilities, right? We'll guess because we talk bigger than our motivation sometimes. And I highly doubt why this is going on. And being it's the weekend, and I don't even know if my wife's off or if you have the kids, Joe, or whatever. So we don't know what the hell we're going to be doing. So I'm not making any promises, right?
True.
Okay. ACC Big Ten Challenge. That was something that wasn't solidified the last show. And Syracuse is going to be facing Illinois in that, and I believe they're going to be traveling there, if I am correct, if I remember right when I read about it. And so
It's a big game.
it is a big game, and it's a possible quad one game, right? They finished, 23-10 last year or something like that?
Yeah.
And so you're looking at getting a good jump on the season. If they can win that game, that would be awesome. And we didn't have any quad one wins last year, if I remember correctly. And so it'd be a good shot at one early. And Syracuse has only played Illinois 3 times in the whole history, and we're 1-2 against them all time.
Yeah.
So, and the last time we played was in 1995. So, you know,
Wow.
I was still in freaking high school.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a big
That was-
name though. I mean, I know Big Ten has a lot of good teams, but it's a good sign as long as we're still in the Big Ten ACC Challenge, like pulling like legitimate
Yeah,
opponents.
because we talked about
then
this, right?
I look at it like, you know, they still look highly of us. The brand's still there. You know, we're not falling back and playing the Minnesotas and some of the other teams in the world. So
right. I was hoping for like Michigan State. There was another one I mentioned that I forget, but you know, something middle of the road. You know, just based off of last year's stuff. And so, hey, you know, you're kind of getting a somewhat of an upper echelon team out of there. And
yeah, Ohio State last year, Illinois
Yeah.
this year, yeah.
yeah, so that will be fun. There was something else too to do with the schedule, and you know, I should know because I just mentioned it. But they they added Monmouth, I think, is what it was.
Yeah.
To the schedule.
Yep.
So, anyways, not huge news, but I did see it while I was perusing. So, okay, switching gears. Okay, it's been a while since we've talked some football. So we got 4 recruits. We're gonna let Joe kind of, you know, take the reins on most of that and get the thoughts on the recruiting end of things. And I know some people get really excited about the recruiting end of things, and some people, you know, it's just whatever. It's cool to hear, it's cool to read, but you know, you hear these names, and a lot of times, so like if Nunes is doing their Meet Your Orangemen, you know, number whatever and whoever's name, right? I mean, there's a couple of these I'm like, oh man, the name sounds familiar, but it's just not.
Yeah,
You know, ringing
and
a bell,
do,
right?
And they do
So-
everybody, even
They
the
do.
walk-ons.
They do,
It's like,
and they do a good job too, and they
Yes.
keep it rolling. So if you're looking for content in that type of content, I mean, either Orange Fizz, probably better than Orange Fizz. They're probably doing a better job. I haven't been to Orange Fizz because the recruiting's been a little slow and it's been mainstream, but between those two, you can find it all, in my opinion. And okay, so the biggest news, in my opinion, aside from the recruits and getting ready for this summer tournament, has been the new format for the 2023 schedule. And you know, instead of we're having going to be one conference, and what they're going to do is they've selected. Now, this is kind of weird how they did this, in my opinion, selecting a rival for each, or selecting 3 rivals for each team, right? Or however you want to call it,
Yes.
rival or whatever, right?
permanent rival.
Permanent rival, right. So ours is Boston College, but this isn't the same for these teams. So it's not like we're in a pack of 4 who we all play each other all the time. It's different for each team, which I thought was, I mean, it's fine, but I don't know. It's weird because you have breakaway rivals and you could be left in the dust, right? So anyways, it doesn't matter because, you know, Boston College, Pitt, and Florida State are ours, okay? Now, let's just take these 3 and then we'll explain the rest. Well, what they're each going to do, we're going to play them twice a year. And then the rest of and then we're going to face 10 other ACC schools twice during a 4-year cycle at home and on the road, right? So the schedules are already built out to 2026, okay? So for us, when you look at Boston College and Pitt, it makes perfect sense. Okay, I like those. And when Joe called me about the news, I didn't know who they were, and those were my first 2 guesses, weren't they, Joe? And I think,
Yes.
and then I think I was like, I mean, I don't know. I kind of like the Syracuse Miami thing, right? But I feel like that could be a good one. I like Virginia Tech over Florida State, and selfishly, from my point of view, living in Virginia, I like Virginia Tech or Virginia, right? Virginia, the Cavs, not like a huge it's just not as exciting. Syracuse versus Virginia football, but Syracuse Virginia Tech is exciting to me because that's another opportunity to take down, which in the recent past has been kind of a big dog, right? And I like that. But I would take Miami or Virginia Tech and take out Florida State in a heartbeat. But I do like the Florida State thing, Joe, because again, when you talk about recruiting and playing against some big dogs, that's a good one, right? So what do you think about the three teams? Do you like it the way it is? Would you change anything? Were you a little bit surprised by Florida State? Because I was a little bit surprised. I mean, I almost ran out of guesses when you and I were talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little surprised because, again, Florida State wasn't a Big East team. For some reason, I thought for a little while that they might have been in the Big East, but that was just – I'm glad that they kept a Florida team. I think Miami has too many rivals naturally, and it would have been nice to get like three older Big East teams, like you said, like a Virginia Tech or something like that. But I think that Boston College and Pittsburgh were pretty much. I think we all could have guessed that. And
it made sense, and Florida State doesn't, which is why.
Well, kind of, sort of, but I think that because of recruiting, I think that Florida State does. Because, again, it just comes down to a situation now where we recruit Florida a lot, and we have a lot of players from Florida. And to be able to say that, hey, we're going to have a game every 2 years down in Florida, just like what it was when we were in that conference or in that division with Florida State. We could go and we could recruit and say, hey, you're going to play at home every other year. So at least now that we keep them as a rival permanently, then we can still make that same promise and keep it.
So the 2023 home games are Boston College, Clemson, Pitt, which, well, let me go through this. I get sidetracked really easy, guys, and I apologize. This is my ADD kicking in.
Now, are we sure that this is the actual schedule? Or is
this was like posted by, I saw this from ACC Football's verified Twitter account. So,
but is it that they made the schedule, or is it just like a sample?
So what it looked like, I'd have to go back and look. Now you're making me double guess myself.
Well, no, you don't have to.
I don't know why they would do this if it wasn't, because it can be made. Like the schedule can be made. You just don't have your non-conference stuff.
Dates,
non-conference games.
What week they're playing?
Right. You can get to home and away though, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, next year, it's looking like, as of now, according to ACC Football Twitter, home games, Boston College, Clemson, Pitt. Of course, we play Clemson again, but that's fine. Boston College, Clemson, Pitt, Wake Forest, Colgate, Western Michigan, and Army as of now. Okay, away games are Florida State, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Virginia Tech, and Purdue. Now, Virginia Tech, I'm going to be there. That's going to be great. Joe, 2023, playing Virginia. Here we are thinking we're going to have to wait 4 years to see another matchup, whether it be home or away, right? But this switches things up, and that's what I like about it the most, is you get to play teams sooner than you normally would, right?
Yeah.
Now, the one I like playing Clemson. I like playing Clemson every year. I just like the what if factor about the Clemson thing. And, the win is wearing off a little bit, but I do still think it's fun. When was the win? It was like 4 years ago going on, right? But it's still fun, okay? And it gives you that little bit of opportunity, right? Which you don't necessarily need in college football, right? So also, like to your point, right? Yeah, I know, I get it. To your point, though, like it stops us from winning a conference title pretty easily.
Because so the year that we went to the bowl game in Dungey and we had a great season, right? I mean, if we beat Clemson, then we go to the conference championship, and it was close, but we didn't. And the year we did beat Clemson, it didn't matter because we lost other games. So. Honestly, we were stuck. We were in a position where we were in a division where we had to beat the Florida States and NC States and Clemson's of the world to even get a chance into the championship. So now making it one conference, no divisions, it gives us a chance, especially in some of those years where, we don't have to play Clemson and maybe some of our permanent rivals are down. Who knows? You sneak into second place, you can get into a championship game. So we just got put into a position where we don't have to play Clemson every year, and every other year we're going to have a situation where we're not going to have to worry about beating Clemson to try to get to a conference championship. So to me, that's a win.
Yeah, I agree.
To me, it's a win.
Because you don't necessarily need it, right? It's not like you're getting quad, wins or losses.
Yeah, strength of schedule and all. No,
yeah, you just
don't
need
the two best records go to the conference championship.
Right.
That's what it's going to be.
So there is an ACC football Twitter thread from June 28th where it explains that they will adopt the 3-5-5 football scheduling model, and all 14 schools will compete in one division. Teams will play 3 primary opponents annually, plus face the other 10 teams twice during a 4-year cycle, once at home and once on the road. And it does look like these are 2023 conference opponents, and it's got the breakdown. So you can go to Twitter.
What are the other 5 then? I feel like I didn't hear 5 other teams.
For 2023?
Yeah, just roll through it real quick.
Well, it just doesn't. All the non-conference stuff might not be there, right? That's what I'm looking at.
You said you had non-conference there too, so
there was some, but I don't know if it's full, if it's filled yet. So I had what they have. This is what they.
I'm wondering what the 5 teams that aren't permanent rivals are on that schedule right there that you're looking at. Clemson's 1.
Okay, so it would be Clemson, Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, and Virginia Tech. Boston College is 1. And Pitt is 1. And Florida State is 1. So Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, and Clemson in year 1, which is 2023. Tough. It is tough. It's really tough.
The worst part about it is
did you think they're never gonna make it easy on Syracuse? You want to hear 2024?
Well, I mean, that's what I was gonna say. Is that means that Miami and NC State are in the next batch?
Yes, Miami, NC State, Louisville, Duke. I'm missing one. And Georgia Tech.
No.
So that's your other 5 there.
A little easier.
A little bit, but they did pound us in 2023. It's pretty packed. So, and you're looking at Army too, and Purdue.
Can't wait to play at Purdue. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
How about that?
Okay, so anything you don't like about it, Joe? Because I don't have anything to complain about. For once, I don't really have much to complain about. I've always wanted to play Virginia Tech more. Always. Yeah. Ever since joining the ACC, I've wanted to play them more. It's just, I just feel like we don't get to see, obviously it's not that, it feels like it is. We don't get to see the other side of the aisle much at all, so.
No, I'm happy.
The good news is we don't have to see like a Notre Dame until 2025.
Yeah, we're still going to have to play them every 3 years too, yeah.
Yeah, and we play Virginia Tech again in 2025 at home.
At some point, they're going to have to shit or get off the pot.
Who's that? Notre Dame?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, there's too much money involved there. That's never going to happen.
Especially with all these teams, like Texas and Oklahoma's going to SEC.
Right.
The USC and UCLA are going to the Big Ten. Like, there's super conferences forming all over the place. Like,
there's 2 of them. And that was the plan, right?
Well, but look at football and basketball.
Yeah.
You take away USC and UCLA from the Pac-12. What is the Pac-12?
I have no idea. Couldn't tell you.
Go Oregon.
Yeah. But, I mean, when you look at it from a football perspective, it's totally different. I flips it on its head. A little bit. A lot bit, actually.
A lot of bit.
Yeah. But that is... like you said, or like we've said on this show, and you said earlier, it's nothing's going to stop power and money from destroying NCAA football and basketball. And this goes, I back the NIL thing, you back the NIL thing. This thing's a monster now. It's a total monster. It's totally out of control. You've got
collectives all over the place.
Yeah, you're building up, these front companies or boosters or whatever the hell you want to call them, and they're it's a money grab, and they're just waving money in front of these.
It's a recruit grab.
It's a recruit grab, but it's a money. It is. You're right. It is a
money grab for the recruits.
Yes, exactly. But it's just the way that it's being played. It is how it's always been played, except for that it is just out in the open now, and it's okay. It's like fine, right? So it's basically they just don't have to hide behind the curtain anymore. Is how it feels to me. And,
well, that's what it was back in the day when you didn't have the technology and the phone and so many things that just are so easily to be tracked. I mean, there was booster money all over the place, and the South was full of booster money. I mean, you go back and you look at the Pony Express, the 30 for 30 about SMU. I mean, that was purely over the boosters made SMU a national championship contender over 2 years, and all the other Southern schools didn't like it. And who got slammed? SMU, because it was all politics at that point. And yeah, I mean, that's just what it always was. And as we've gotten through the age of technology and people being able to get caught and people being able to track stuff, it's been harder and harder for these schools to use this money from, the what am I trying to say? The boosters, that now it's like almost like they've purposely kind of put a rule in there to say, hey, we can do this. And there's just loopholes all over the place. So real messy. And I know John Wildhack really doesn't want anything to do with it. So
that's too bad, because he's going to get freight trained. And that's that. He wants to play clean, and that's fine. And I respect it. But there's part of me that doesn't.
I feel like we're the SMU in this story, though. Like, we can say, like, oh, yeah, we need to do it. But, like, I feel like we're that team that if we do play dirty, we're going to be the one that gets thrown under the bus. And now we're the one that's going to be having sanctions again from the NCAA, because I just feel like that's
I just don't understand how if you do it the way everybody else is doing it, how that is even a possibility.
Well, that's what happened in SMU. They were doing it the same way everyone else was doing it, but because everyone else didn't like it and they won, they all conspired against them to get them out. And it was all politics. And like I just feel like,
Jimbo Fisher, what's his name? New rivalry there over at Alabama.
Nick Saban, yeah.
Nick Saban.
I'm just saying that, like, I look at it, I mean, obviously there's a moral thing there, but obviously there's a competitive thing there. And if there's loopholes, why not?
If there's a loophole and everybody else is doing it, why not? So what?
I get it.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, and he's going to play the good guy card, and he's going to get freight trained. But that's, it's not impossible to still do good, but you're just going to be you're just not going to be on even close. Not that we were on close to the same level before. It's just the gap is going to going to expand between what we were and where everybody else was to where we are and where everybody else is going. It's just going to be a huge gap. And, I don't think that there's teams in the ACC that aren't going to take advantage of that. And when you look at Syracuse, we feel like we're on the way up. But, I mean, how long is that going to last with all of this, money being waved around? And you say, some kids are going to go ahead and they're like, no, I want to play for Syracuse. I want to play for Syracuse. That you don't need to dangle money in front of my face to make me pick Clemson or some other school, right?
Right.
But the overwhelming majority of students and their families are going to follow the money. And if Syracuse ain't dangling the bills, well, then guess what? You're going to be the best damn 3-star, 2-star, unrated recruiting team you could be. And that's just how I see it.
That's what we've been.
Exactly.
Like the insurance company. Yeah. I got $1.
Almost had it. You got to be quicker than that. Yeah. So, in Wild Hack, you might as well bring it up. Tyler texted me about it. He was asked by Stephen Bailey, correct?
I believe. I don't want to. Don't.
Okay. All right.
100%
sure?
me on
Okay.
that, but
All
I
right.
just feel like Stephen Bailey he's the one that asks all the tough questions. So
He asked the questions that no one else has the balls to ask because they all know that if you just wait long enough, Stephen will ask it, and then and then Stephen could be the bad guy. Oh, I can't believe he asked that.
that's a great theory because that's the thing, right? Is that everybody wants to know the answer and everyone talks about it and everyone's twittering all over the place about tweet, what's going on, this, that, Dino Babers hot seat, this, like, but nobody wants to be that guy that's like, why'd you ask that? Why would you even bring that up? If you're going to cause turmoil in the program for asking that question, you know what I mean?
Like why be controversial? Why ask the questions that everybody else wants to ask but doesn't have the balls because they know you're going to anyway? Why would you do that? So, and we've made Stephen Bailey jokes. We made Stephen Bailey jokes along the lines of, just to be fair, along the lines of asking questions that we know, which most of them are. You're never going to get a straight answer, right?
Right. And we've made jokes about come on,
why
bro.
would you ask that question? Yeah.
But again, I think that's exactly what we're talking about, right? Is like, why would you ask that? But then
it always creates conversation.
That's why, it does.
Someone writes an article about it.
Even though we know the answer before he even asks. If he asks this, we know the answer.
Who's injured? Or, hey, how's so-and-so's injury coming along? Or whatever the case is, right? He's not going to get the answer, but he puts it out there. People are going to write about it. People eat it up.
Based upon the fact that we pretty much know what's going to happen. It's going to be coach speak. And based upon the responses that come back from the coaches, right? I mean, that's really what it comes down to, is that, like you said, he asks the questions no one wants to ask. And then the responses from the coaches sometimes are priceless. And, I mean, like I said, you don't want to make fun of the guy because, I mean, he's doing his job. He's doing something that a lot of people are afraid to do, right?
Yeah.
He's stepping out there and he's asking the question that everyone wants to ask, the elephant in the room, right? And, I mean, it does make for conversation and it does make for great coaching comebacks, but sometimes, like I said, kudos to him because he knows he's not going to get a legit answer anyway. So I mean,
he's asking. He's asking typical reporter questions. He's just local media, so it's a little bit different.
Well, maybe not typical nowadays, but
some
people don't even want the spark to happen, right? Like some people feel it in the air, like, oh, feels like it could be rain, right? But no one wants it to rain. It's just
Great
they feel
analogy,
it.
Joe.
They know what the deal is, but no one wants to light that spark except for him.
Yeah, and kudos to him for that. So, all right, with all of that said, maybe or maybe not, he asked John Wildhack if, again, ADD kicking in. So, whatever. Sorry. So, maybe he asked John Wildhack, or maybe he didn't, but someone did ask John Wildhack if Coach Babers is on the hot seat. Of course, John Wildhack says no, right? Now, look, if we go 1-10 this year again, or whatever, 2-9, whatever, is Dino Babers keeping his job, in your opinion, Joe? I mean, there's a reason for answering the question the way John Wildhack answered. I mean, there's a number of reasons, right? But do you believe it?
Question.
Do you believe it, though? Because Tyler sent me that tweet, or whoever the tweet was from, and he was like, look, man, buy, sell, or hold this. I'm like, sell. I mean, what the hell? I'm not buying that. No way. I think, of course, he's on the hot seat. And if he's not, then you're on the hot seat. In my opinion, what kind of athletic director doesn't have his head coach of a football team on the hot seat after the tenure that, unfortunately, Dino Babers has had?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think this is, and I've talked about this before. I think Dino came in, and with the coaches he had, I think, like you saw, what it brought all the way up to Dungy in that bowl season. And then when they lost Lynch and a couple other coaches because of their success, I think that he really had a difficulty filling those positions. And I think that we have not had enough coaches on the staff for what we really need to kind of go to the next level. And I think this year, like we've spoke, I think that they opened up the pocketbooks, they went all in, and I think not only did they get like assistance on the offensive side that's going to really be able to turn this team around, but I think that they really got like the next kind of offensive coordinator. That Jason Beck to me is just a great quarterback coach and offensive coordinator coming up. And I don't know how long Anai. I know, like I said, he was possibly looking at the head coach or retire. He's looking for a next step type of thing. But this is almost like a new start, so to speak. I think getting the special teams coordinator.
Is it a new start, or is it like the Hail Mary at the end of the game?
I think it's the Hail Mary, but I think that you need to be able to wait. Like sometimes 1 year isn't enough. Is really where I'm getting to. Is that you make all these changes, you add all these people, and now you have some of these. I mean, the quarterback Carlos came in. We still have Lenore Sellers, who's coming in 2023, who's to me right now underrated, and I think that his stock's going to go up. I mean, we have good players that are coming into this system, and I just think the last thing that you want to do just after one season is to create turmoil through the coaching ranks, not really know what's going on, especially after you just made kind of this commitment to all these other coaches and players. So to me, it's tough one way or another, but again, it always comes down to there's a buyout involved, and you just always kind of want to have more than 1 year when you make that big a change. When you bring in the offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators only been there for 1 year, so you made one big move last year, then you got rid of a couple other people, made a bigger move this year, brought in new coaches, and I think you need more than 1 year to be able to kind of, and that's just me. I mean, and this is also me speaking as, like you said, like, what if they win only 1 or 2 games or 3 games? And this is coming from somebody who I think is going to, I mean, I don't think we're going to be that. Now, we do have a tough schedule, but to me, like 5-7 is the worst we're going to go. And that's just my opinion. So I don't really think that, we can see an improvement, but still not. And that's the tough thing when you do these. We've talked about scheduling as well. You can see an improvement in a team, but still not see an improvement in the win-loss column because of things that are out of your control, whether it be your strength of schedule or whether it be injuries and things like that. So, I mean, that's really where I'm going to stand with that. And I really don't think anyone needs to be on the hot seat when it comes to football, because I'm so sick and tired of just the revolving
carousel
door.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would agree. But to say coach isn't on the hot seat is an understatement.
But what happens? What do you do then? Do you get rid of now? You get a new head coach. They get rid of all your coordinators and defensive players.
No, hold on a second. I mean, what do you do? Okay, great question. Let me tell you, I don't think we're going to need to worry about it. At least I pray that we're not going to need to worry about it.
I don't think so either.
Right? But if we have another 1-win season,
then it could be Wildhack's job, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you keep him, you might lose your job. Like I was saying earlier, that puts him on the hot seat or whatever. Or maybe you just go ahead and you make the change, and maybe you promote one of the coaches. Maybe a coach shines through this season, regardless of who it is, and they move up. They fill those shoes. They've already been on the team. They've already been involved with the recruiting. Who knows? I don't know. But that, if you had to do it, that would be, in my opinion, it'd be the best way to do it. Now, I'm thinking we don't even need to worry about it. So,
you asked the question.
Right. Right. Yeah. I know.
And I'm right there with you, but I answered the best way that I could. I mean, I don't think we're going to be there. And I think that a 5-7 against in being competitive against this schedule, I think is not going to get anybody fired, but who knows?
We'll see. But with the assistants and things, that has not been a consistent.
No, well, and we talked about it
since,
too, right?
Since Baber started, and that's a Baber's decision. A lot of that,
but it was also a PC answer, right? Like we also talked about, like even if Babers was on the hot seat, Wildhack wouldn't say it. You wouldn't create that turmoil within the right. You're in the middle of the summer, and you're going to put all that pressure on everybody. Like, nah, you're not going to talk. No,
right. He's going to play coy, and that's just the nature of that. That's the answer you're going to get with the nature of that question, especially this time of year. But it's fun to talk about. Again, whoever asked the question created conversation.
Yep.
And not necessarily controversy, but speculation, and everybody has their own opinion on it. And that's what's good about questions that don't have answers, because there ain't shit else going on anyway. So, 4 recruits in 8 days, Joe, my favorite. Gosh, I just have missed talking about recruits.
I'm sure.
And I just am so happy to get back at it, and it's just so much fun. So, where do I start? Okay, let's start with Zion Moultrie Goddard of Iona Prep, right? Iona Prep. Offers from West Virginia, Tennessee, UConn, Arizona State, and Army. That's pretty good, right?
Rutgers as well. Yep.
Rutgers too? Okay. Mm-hmm. Those are all real good offers. I think there's not a crappy one on there. And, well, UConn. 3-star prospect, and that is according to 247 Sports. I mean, what do you see, Joe? Look, this is where you talk and I stop.
Yeah, well, I mean, 6 foot, 240. We've seen Zaire Franklin was 6 foot, maybe 6'1", barely. So you can be successful not being a 6'2", 6'3" linebacker. 240, if that is real, is a really good weight for a high school player. But, like I talked about before, I mean, I'm from New York, played New York high school football. And, I mean, being in North Carolina, seeing some of the differences around the country in different places that I've lived, like, I'm a little skeptical, sometimes when
he's spectacle.
I'm spectacle. I'm a little skeptical about New York recruits. We've seen in the past, people kind of bang on Syracuse about, not, recruiting in state, but we've always talked about how there's barely ever 15, 20 players that are D1 material out of the state of New York. And we've not really had a great history of New York players that come in and they quickly find out that, maybe it's not for them, or some injuries and stuff like that. We've had some bad luck with that. So, but with that said, that doesn't mean we can't recruit New York. And this is one of the better players from New York, as you laid out his scholarship offers. And again, another thing that gets me excited is when I see Army, because, you see Army, that's kind of a quality kid. Army's not getting... It's
the integrity factor.
Yeah, they're not taking anybody.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I like the pick. I like the pickup, getting the guy from, offers around us like Rutgers and UConn and Army, but also bigger names like Arizona State and Tennessee. I don't see him coming in and being a star day one, but obviously because of the depth of our linebacker core and everything. But I mean, it's a standard 3-star top 10 recruit from New York, and
something to build depth, something to build off of.
The thing is you don't want to let the good ones go in New York. So if you got to get a top 10 or a couple top 10 guys, and you hope that they end up living up to the build, and that's fine. If they don't and they end up transferring, then you took your shots. You got to be able to do that, because sadly, because of the competition factor in New York, it's really, really hard to really know how that is going to blend or going to go into the next level against some other players from other areas of the country that are prepared better to go into college football. So,
staying in New York, okay, Jaleel Smith, and he's out of Lincoln High School in Brooklyn. 6'3", 235 linebacker, 3-star.
That's the end, right?
Yes, edge. Yeah, he is a 3-star, 83, a grade of 83 from 247. Offers from Temple and Bowling Green, according to 247. And, he's going to join a plethora of New York recruits like you're talking about. Lenore Sellers also, right? Or no, he's South Carolina. But he's South Carolina. So it's...
Yeah, he's South Carolina, yeah.
Okay, so Rashard Perry.
David Clement,
and Zion Moultrie, who we just talked about.
Yes.
So out of New York. Yep.
Yes. And I believe that's 4 top 10 recruits out of the state of New York. So this is one of the better seasons and years we've had recruiting, at least the top 10. Because like I said, once you get around 15 in New York, that's when you're looking at the D1 AAs and teams like that. So, to get 4 of them is good. And again, I'm not going to kind of regurgitate the same thing, but all of these guys I kind of got the same feeling about, with New York prospects, it's kind of, you got to prove it to me. And that's just what it is. And that's just based off history and facts of what's happened with a lot of New York,
recruits.
Prospects. Yeah. So, but 6'3", 250 again. If that's real, then that's a good size coming in. So again, I'm very, very optimistic, and I hope that these players end up panning out. But just like Moochie Goddard, I think that this is another guy that, neither of these two are going to be coming in day one, helping out or starting or anything like that. These guys are going to be guys that might see special teams or redshirt, and eventually, after 1 or 2 years, see the field. So,
and this one's I'm going in order of commitment over the past 8 days, by the way. So, but this one, I feel like this intrigues me the most. Joe told me about this one first, and then I had to go on Twitter. Gosh, and so I did. Mawafak Parkman. I'm going with Mawafak. Okay, there's a plethora of options there, but I'm going with Mawafak. All right?
Yes.
Mawafak Parkman. Running back out of New Jersey. So, it's close, right? If you want to, talking about the New York bubble there, right? He's unrated currently by 247, but he did, he was at a camp in Monmouth, and he clocked in a 4.35. So, which Joe tells me is fast. So that's a really fast. He's labeled as, it's just an athlete, right? 6 foot, 175 according to 247. And, running back is what I guess he was recruited for. He did get offers from some other schools, including Old Dominion here in the Commonwealth, Kent State, and Temple. So got some offers, probably based on his speed. And you want to pick up, you got a guy running a 4.35 in the 40-yard dash, and you're going to, that's going to raise eyebrows, right? You're going to do what you can to pick him up, but you don't care how many stars he's got. See what he's got. Maybe he can be a slot guy, or whatever you kick returns, whatever. Use him for whatever, right? So, it gives you some options, right, Joe?
Yeah, he's going to eventually end up being rated. It's just a situation where he's just unrated because the websites haven't rated him yet. So he'll probably end up being a 3-star. But I watched his highlight tape, and it's a situation where, to me, his straight line speed is solid. Like, when he gets the ball, you can see, like, he hits a hole, or once he gets like straight going, like straight line, and he starts his long strides and goes, like, it's hard to take him down. But what I question is some of the other stuff, because as a running back, obviously you need to be able to go out and catch passes. You need to be able
break
to
tackles,
pass protect.
Yeah.
You need to be able to have a little bit better, decent lateral movement and stuff like that. So I think that this guy he's super talented, and it might be a situation where we might be able to fit him in a special needs situation, to be able to, special plays and certain little things, returning kicks, special teams, stuff like that. But from what I saw, if you watch his tape, it's impressive, and he doesn't get a lot of carries, but a lot of it is he finds a spot or he finds a hole and he hits it, and then he's just full bore, like, just tackle me. And he's just, I'm running like Forrest Gump as fast as I can, and you just got to tackle me. So it's going to be interesting to see how he can translate to college and how he can kind of get that under control, because I don't think necessarily what he does where he plays is going to work in ACC right now. But I think there's definitely huge potential for him in the future.
It's the unknown that I'm intrigued about. It's kind of exciting to know. Not to know, but it's exciting to kind of wonder where he'll end up if we get to see him. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. All I know is that from what I saw, if he gets in a situation where he has open field and he can run straight line, good luck.
Right.
So,
okay. The last of which, or is this the first of which? I don't know how I did this anymore. It's fine. It doesn't matter. We're down the last one.
Last.
It is the last.
You were going in order.
Okay, I thought I was. And then I got to thinking, man, I can't remember. But, okay, yeah. By the way, these are all verbal commits. I always tell you guys that, okay? It doesn't, this could all change. And we could be just bloviating and wasting our time of all of this. So
yeah, we sure could.
Which is possible. And if anyone's...
It's happened.
It's happened. It has. Wide receiver, Bryce Cahoon, 6'2", 185. And according to Rivals, he had offers from Air Force, Massachusetts, Northern Iowa, Pennsylvania, Southeast Missouri, Kansas State. And according to Nunes, he also had an offer from
Air Force.
No, I said Air Force, from Army.
Oh, yep, Army. Yep.
Yeah. So he's only played one season at wide receiver. And as Nunes mentions here, and I don't know who it was, but they said something about, bringing up the point that, he could be getting a player before he gets noticed by some other schools because of his time in the position, right? So he recently won the state title, 100 meter, and with 40 receptions, 804 yards, and 7 touchdowns in high school. So
no, it's his first year.
Yeah, it was the only year he's played wide receiver so far. Yeah,
wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's really good, right? I mean, look at 6'2", 185, dude. I mean, that's a great. I mean, he could use some more.
He could put on a little bit, but I'm just saying,
bit more weight. But yeah,
saying right here too that he's the reigning Kansas 5A state champion in the 100-meter dash.
Right, that's what I said. Won the state title in the 100 meters. So.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, right? Yeah. I'm telling you, out of all the players that we talked about, this is the one, and I know you didn't purposely save the best for last because this is just the order. But go look at this guy, especially now that I know. I did not know until you said that it was his actually first year playing receiver. If you go look, this guy's going to have the most impressive highlight. Parkman's got a good one too. But right now, like, Cahoon to me is probably the one recruit that excites me probably more than anything because of his speed and because of his size and because of just, again, like, I mean, from what I saw from his highlight tape, like, it was pretty impressive to know that it was only 1 year, and then you get the offers from Air Force and Army, which again tell you about his character. So overall, to me, this is my favorite one so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good one. I do like the Parkman grab just because of the unknowns and, getting an underrated guy or, as of now. But, this could obviously go up, but Cahoon is a 2-star according to Rivals. I'm not sure. I guess we could check 247, but according to Rivals, he's only a 2-star right now. Let's just real quick go check 247. These are they don't even have them rated.
Oh yeah,
247. So,
and the thing is because it's his first year and he hasn't been going to camps and all that stuff. But I bet you, now that he gets this scholarship offer and he commits and he's like a track star like this and everything like that, like, I think it's a situation where it's going to be no time, especially since he's got a senior year too, and they still star everybody. So, I think that it's a situation where he'll end up being a 3-star for sure. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is a guy that bigger schools don't try to poach from us. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, and that's why we always add the disclaimer.
Yeah,
verbal commit. Which, hey, he's sold on some things, and obviously, I think that the Syracuse football recruiting and the basketball recruiting, and I guess you probably hear this everywhere, but I only obviously read about our recruits. But the way they make the players feel like family and just natural and just the atmosphere and everything like that, because obviously that's the most important thing. You're going to snag these kids away from familiar places and being home and things like that, and into the college atmosphere. And obviously the dome doesn't hurt. The dome doesn't hurt, and on the football end of things, especially, I think is cool. So, hopefully we can keep him. We'd love to see this kid develop and be, with everything we've got developing, coming through when he gets here in 2023, and the quarterback situation and everything else, that dynamic's going to start to shift. Yeah. So it'd be interesting, to see what comes out of after this year, what we're looking like heading into next year, and then the start of next year. So, and like I said, we're going to Blacksburg in 2023, for crying out loud. Joe's going too this time. No excuse. Don't give me that look. No excuses. No excuses. You got a year to plan, a year plus.
All right.
But you do got some good games coming up too. So
possibly.
Well, you have NC State in 2024, but you got North Carolina and Georgia Tech. You got North Carolina in 2023 coming to you. So. Yay. All right. Anything else, Joe, that you would like to add before we sign off?
I think we're good.
Won't be here next week.
We hit up everything we needed to hit up, bud, I think.
Okay. We won't be here next week, but we will be here before Boeheim's Army tips off. And I've got DMs and texts about getting to Syracuse for the regional, and I would love to get to Syracuse for the regional. I doubt I'm going to be able to.
Yeah.
If I could, I would. I have time scheduled, set aside for Syracuse in August already. It's tough getting PTO. Also, my PTO is put in like January or February, and there was obviously no dates. And I'm going to be going on. And I'm going to be on vacation right before the Syracuse regional, which just unfortunate timing. So I don't think I'll get there, but it is a weekend, and if I want to be a road warrior, I could probably do it. But I'm getting older, and these eyes don't stay open the way they used to, and 8 hours straight, with the fam. I could do it. I could do it. I could do 8 hours. Shoot, man. I do probably 4 or 5 hours most days just at work. So, which I'm not a truck driver. I just drive a lot. So,
Okay.
But I've done the drive to Syracuse on a Saturday morning, hang out, early Saturday morning, get there at like noon, hang out all day, party at night, wake up Sunday morning, have breakfast, and drive back to Virginia Beach. I mean, I've done that.
Yeah, me too.
But I just don't think it's in the cards.
Nah. Not for me.
So anyway, sure. I've done it twice. But anyways, we'll see what happens. And I would love nothing more to check out a Boeheim's Army game, guys. Like, for real. That is so it's lit, as the kids say. They still say lit? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Well, that's what I'm going to say. It looks lit.
All right.
But that's all I got. Okay?
Yeah, man.
You're waiting to sign off.
I'm just living it, bro.
Joe's waiting to sign off. Joe has been cooking hot dogs ever since the podcast started, so he's got to go turn them. He's got to go turn them. Here we are, about an hour later, Joe's got to go turn his hot dogs, and he should be having dinner at 9 o'clock sharp. So we best let him go. And look, I appreciate all of you for coming and hanging out with us. Joe, no hot dog gets ketchup. I'm just throwing that out there.
I don't.
Okay. Hopefully we stop that madness,
No.
all right?
No, coleslaw
All right.
and mustard.
Till next time, coleslaw. For Joe and Sean, we're out.
Peace.